Hi guys, Squirrel here and welcome to another train simulator video. Now, in the next few train simulator videos, I'm going to focus on the Chinese rail high-speed network. And I've got three locos to try out. The actual short name version of this one is the CRH-A, or the CRH1A is what it's called. The 022 is a particular version, but it's the CRH1A is what this one is. It's a loco that came into service in 2007. On the Chinese Rail High-Speed Network, or the CRH. Further down the list here, I've got the CRH2A, which was like, if you like, the successor to that. As you can see, very, very bullet-like front end there. And then finally, the CRH380A, which is the one that only came into service in 2010. This one's a very fast. This is a extreme speed version of the CRH high speeds. This one can do 380 kilometers per hour. That it actually runs at that kind of speed, whereas the 1A and the 2A only do 250 kilometers per hour. I'm going to start off by showing you this one, the CRH1A, and we're going to go for this scenario here. It's a 5-star rated difficulty. It's a 40-minute run, short passenger run from Chengdu to Longsheng. We're going to get straight in there. We're going to try it out. I'm not sure it's 5-star. It must be some tricky lineage or a strict timetable, but we'll give it a whirl, see what happens. Alrighty, hello driver. Today you have a short passenger run between Chengdu and Longsheng. First drive to Chengdu East Railway Station, pick up the passengers, and then reverse the train, head to Longsheng. Okay. I'm just going to get a move on here. Things are already set up. I'll explain all the control systems as we get along. We need to get a move on because the timetable's probably quite tight. Essentially, this is our current speed showing right here. It's also shown in the middle of that dial there. And the orange bar represents the current speed limit, which is 45 in kilometers per hour, or 45 kilometers per hour. I'll just back off there slightly before I get told off for speeding. One thing I'm going to do is when I reach about 42, 44, I'm going to press that button to lock in the cruise control, like that. Now there should be, there you go, look at this, there should be another train alongside us. He's doing it exactly 45, I think. So he's pulling away from us just ever so slightly. I think he is as well. Let's see if we can match his speed. Let's release that, hit 45 and do that. There you go. Look at that. That is so cool. He's gone on a completely different service to us. But I just think that looks pretty awesome. That doesn't happen very often in this game, in Train Simulator. It is not often at all. In fact, I think that's the first time I've ever been able to go toe-to-toe with an identical train along a journey. But anyway, let's have a look at the quick task list. So we're due to pick up in Chengdu at 9:24. We arrive in Longsheng at 9:54. If I bring up this display here, you'll see, look at that, 45.9, blimey. Our current ETA into Chengdu East is 9:22, so we are a couple of minutes ahead of the game. We're absolutely fine for time. Let me explain some controls while we're here. Now, this is the manual cruise control. There you go, cruise on, off. And this one, if I get it to highlight, is the advanced cruise control. The basic difference between these two is that this one, when you press this button here, look at that, another one. When you press this button here, provided you're not speeding, you're not breaking any speed limits, the current active speed will be locked in. And the computer system will manage it for you. You don't need to worry about braking or accelerating. It will manage the speed for you. To disengage the cruise control, you can either flip that button there or just brake. Just touch the brakes and it will disengage. The advanced cruise control is different. The advanced one will, if you like, take the train to the current speed limit, the current active speed limit. So if I'm doing 45 now, and the speed limit was raised to 160, for example, and I can press that button there, then it will accelerate the train all the way up to just under 160, and then it will sit there at that track speed. That's what the advanced one does. It kind of governs the speed up to the speed limit. Now, as well as that, you've actually got a couple of things going on here. I'll ignore the flashes and beeps and stuff. That there, I know you can't read Chinese, neither can I, but that's the current or track speed limit, 160, so we can actually release that cruise control now. And accelerate upwards. Now, I could, if I wanted to, activate the advanced cruise control like that, and it would take our speed up, but I'm just going to leave that turned off for a minute. The next bit of information is this here, 5 kilometers and 45 in the blue. That is the next speed limit change. It's a speed limit change down to 45, and the distance to it is 5 kilometers. Basically, this thing has ATP, and ATP will calculate and predict the next track speed change, and it'll even limit the speed down. It'll break it down with the advanced cruise control down to the right speed limit for you. So you become not so much of a trained monkey, but somebody that can, you know, relax a little bit. You don't have to faff around with the brakes on and off. You can kind of take care of the bigger picture a little bit more. You notice I'm just backing off on the throttle there. That is the marker there, 4 kilometers, and if you want exactly where it is, it's on that ticker tape there, 0 to 10k out. You can see it's just crossing underneath the 4k threshold, so it rounds it down to 3, but it's actually 3.8 away. Over here is the sort of braking pressure. So if I bring the brake back there like that, you'll see that dial move up and the speed will start to come down as we apply a little bit of brake pressure. I'm just going to bring the speed down a touch, not much. We're well ahead of time schedule, so I don't need to worry, you know, too much about this. Other controls are this one here, the wiper, which we don't need today because it's actually quite sunny outside. What else have we got? We've got this, which is the key. The ignition, so when you're cold and dark, you turn that key basically, and that will activate the system, and then you will put the pantograph up by clicking on that over there, and then you're pretty much good to go. There's not a massive cold and dark phase to deal with in this one. Let me just release the pressure a second. We're down to 100, 2k out, we're going to drop to 45. So have a quick look outside and take a look at some of the scenery going on here. As you can see, it's very, very China, very industrial, built up. Lots of investment in their infrastructure. The Chinese rail high-speed network is being built all the time. They've got lots of these trains, lots of the CR2s, 1, 2s and 3s. They've got lots and lots of them. But this one is still in service as well. It's, in terms of the train and the simulation, it's like the later ones. The CR3 has got more advanced systems on it, both in real life and in the simulation. So, you know, we're going to build up from there. We're going to see what one can do. One is fairly basic. A lot of these buttons don't actually do anything at all. That one does. Probably one of the better horns, funnily enough. So, I think the 2 or the 3, I can't remember them. One of them's got the most ridiculous horn. It sounds like a Fiat Uno horn, you know, it's kind of absurd. Almost makes you want to laugh and feel sorry for the train. But this one isn't so bad. Right, I'm just bringing our speed down. You can see the speed limit change is coming up now to 45. Let's put a touch more pressure and get it down to 45. Now we're at 45. I'm just going to try and lock that in now. Whoops. Get it back under because we're going downhill. Come on. There we go. Right, so that's locked it in at 44. I kind of prefer the manual. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to click on the manual cruise control. I know exactly what I'm going to get, rather than have it manage the speed for me, in quotes. Over here, we've got the emergency brakes. These buttons don't do anything. That's the key. There's nothing going on up here apart from the pantograph. Nothing going on down here. On the 2 and the 3, there's some other bits and pieces down here, but not so on this. Also, on the later ones, you get blinds up here. You do get, I think you get a light switch on this one. Yeah, you do. So if you click that, it illuminates the inside of the cabin. And over there, you get nothing. On the 3 or perhaps the 2, you get a touchscreen interface. It might be the 3, actually. You get a touchscreen interface. Over there, you've got, what have you got over here? The reverser, and then those buttons don't do anything. No slidey windows. This is not OMSI, unfortunately. That is pretty much it. That's all the controls on the CRH1A. You can see it's quite a nice looking train. It's very kind of iconic in China. Very, very well known. There's lots of them in service. But not as amazing looking as the 2 or the 3. The 2 or the 3 really look like they mean business. However, these things are pretty powerful. I mean, it takes something like 5.3 megawatts of power. It produces about 7,100 brake horsepower, which is a lot. And is rated at 250 kilometers per hour, which is about 155 miles per hour. If you're American or British, 155 miles per hour. Otherwise, the rest of the world, 250 kilometers per hour. Made out of stainless steel, this whole thing, and it's been manufactured since, what, 2007? I think it is. Braking system is regenerative as well. Let's just turn that off. So regenerative electronically controlled pneumatic brakes. Now when we pass this line here, you see it, I've just started speeding a touch there. That's when I'm going to... Oh, I've overbraked. Massively overbraked. I was about to show you how to do some nice little braking into the station, but I totally failed when I... I'll explain what happened. Basically, although I engaged cruise control, I left the reverser in a forward position. So when I disengaged the cruise control, what I actually got was a little bit of acceleration, which took me over the speed limit. Not to worry. Okay. And stop. Let's open the doors. There we go. That guy, I swear he just Michael Jackson moonwalked off that train. Okay, 9:24 arrival. Perfect. We are quite early, so that's all good. Right, let's try and work out where we're going next. Let's have a look at the mask. Center player. We are here. And where are we going next? Task is to head all the way out here to Shiban 10, Platform 2. Shiban 10. When are we heading out? We're heading out in 9:24:44. We are heading out at 9:25. Due to pick up them at 9:35, so it's all good. So far, so good. There it is over in that direction. Just trying to work out what it was. So I think we need to turn around at this point. We're going to head backwards. So what I need to do is jump in the cab. I'll disengage the reverser. Like that. I'll change cab up here. Let's make sure that's in that position. Outside, the lights are on. So we should... Oh, hang on, there's a pantograph on. I think if this doesn't move, we need to pantograph it. No, we're good. Yes, we just did. Wow. It told me to change ends and depart, as it already changed end and was departing. GG, bro. Okay, let's get a move on. We're going to get up to 45, and then we should be able to pick up some decent speed. Although this is a 5-star rated difficulty, so my guess is that we'll get up to speed and then quickly have to come back down for some red lights, possibly. I don't know, I've not done this scenario yet, so I'm very much experiencing it for the first time, the same as you are. Watching my speed now, come up to 45, and then I'm going to hit that button on about 44, there we go. I do love this, I do actually genuinely love cruise control. It's such a useful feature. Lets you enjoy the scenery a bit more. Hey, look at that. Was that the same guy that came in, I wonder? I bet it might have been, you know. That's actually quite cool. He's moving exactly the same speed, look at that. So yeah, you can expect to see a lot of you know, busy cities on this particular route. This is I totally forgot to mention, this is a Just Trains. This is not an official Dovetail Games release, by the way. This is from justtrains.net, their website. The 3 trains and the scenarios that we're going to be driving are from justtrains.net. I will leave a link in the video description so that you can go and have a look at them yourself. Depending on whether you feel like buying it or not, you can, you know, judge it from the video, and then I'll leave you a link. I don't get anything, by the way. I'm just telling you where to get it from in case you're wondering. It's why it doesn't have any career scenarios, because any non-official DLC can only create standard scenarios. Only Dovetail can create career ones. That's just the way it is, peeps. Right, you can see coming up 250 limit. So basically that's the speed rating of the train. It should release pretty soon. And then we'll be on our way. So many high-rise buildings. It really is such a built-up area. Now this thing has like an audible system on it as well, so it will ting when there's some kind of alert for us, some kind of speed change. It's a pity all this stuff works. It's quite funny actually on the CR2s and 3s. You see how there's like a bit of Chinese here. Like here and here. But it doesn't matter because it's not operational. Right, there we go. So we'll remove that. Full accelerate. We've got a track limit of 200, bizarrely, which then goes up to 250, so... How far away is the next one? 15k. Need to just be a little bit careful on the speed. It can take, well, it does take quite a bit of time to get down from, you know, plus 200, certainly. There's a lot of energy to get back, and the braking system, because it is a regenerative braking system, it doesn't tend to act massively quickly, but it is effective over a distance. You've just got to learn what kind of distance for what speed. On the latest 2s and 3s, there's a touchscreen system, and there's a lot more writing in Chinese. Some of the systems, you need to learn what it means, basically. It's nothing too arduous. I think the 2 or the 3... 3, I think it is, has an announcer as well. That's quite funny. It announces it in Chinese and then announces it in English. Okay, just keeping my eye on the speed now, because we are... you really do get a sense of speed, by the way, on this, as you can see. We're kind of belting it down here now. 180 kilometers per hour. Distance 13 kilometers. At these kinds of speeds, those distances will be on top of you before you know what's going on. Right, just back off from the old accelerator. Because we're not at a 250 rating just yet, we're still at 200. Let me just lock that in for a second until it pings. I mean, look, this is how quiet it is as well. And everything looks a bit washed out, doesn't it? But if you go outside, look, it's not washed out. It's basically simulating what's going on in the cabin with the glare of the glass. Okay. We're 10k away. You can see there now, we've got no speed limit now, effectively. We can just gun it all the way to 250. Hence the green. But you can see at 9k, it's going to be a 45 limit. So, you know, we've got to... Let's put it on auto. We've got to watch that. We've got to manage that, because that will be on top of us before we know what's going on. It really will. Very nice scenery though, isn't it? Not that you get to see much of it, because it absolutely flies by. I mean, this is actually the laugh of this map. They've had to make so much scenery, and yet you're going to scream past all of it. It's hilarious. Okay, I'm just going to turn that off. We are 6 kilometers away, and we're doing 220, so that's going to be on us pretty fast. You know, literally just a few minutes. So I'm just going to back off here. Let me have a look at my display. Well, we don't want to be braking too early. What's our ETA? 9:34 and 45. So we're just slightly ahead of schedule. Now it's starting to notify us of a 200 limit. So we need to back off. And try and gauge us. We're 4.5k away. The problem is if you're too cautious and you brake too early, then you know you're just not going to hit your schedule basically. And if you do it too late, then the automatic train protection system will kick in, and emergency brakes, and yep, you've got to go all the way to halt before you can even start again. Now, there's a 160 recommended limit. When the next signal is going to be a yellow, then what happens is when there's like a speed change like this or a yellow signal coming up, it 160 is the limit that gets enforced, even though the track's rated much higher. You get a 160 limit to deal with, which is kind of sensible, because that's, you know, they've probably worked out that at 160 it's going to take you, I don't know, 2 kilometers of track just to slow down. Yeah, look what's going on outside, and we're missing it all. we're just flying past this beautiful scenery. Get back inside. Right. 90 coming up. Let's get some braking on. Right, we're now less than a K away from 45, so we really need to get some braking on now. Got a lot of speed to shave off. In fact, I don't think we're going to shave it all off at this rate. Look at it. It's taking far too long. Come on, come on. Nearly there. 50, 48, 47, 46, 45. Wow. That was the closest of margins, blimey. Okay, let's engage the manual cruise control. We only, like, seriously, only just hit 45 coming in there. Okay. Brake pressure on 2. This is platform 2. We are stopping here. Let's see if we can stop a bit nicer this time. There you go. Look at that. Nice. Okay. And doors open. So he gets off. What's a gap? Look at that gap. Blimey, that's not even safe. That would have to come out, because that, honestly, who the heck can get up there? That's not only a gap, that's a rise. That is not passenger compatible. Imagine some little old lady trying to get on that, or get off that train. Flipping heck. You need a ladder? Right, what are we at? Whoops, wrong button. We are at 9:35. We are due to depart 9:36. So far, so good. Lots of track, lots of scenery, hardly anybody around. Pretty certain China's not like this. Pretty certain China has a lot more people on the platform than this. It being quite a populous country. But we can't see anybody. Okay, let's go! Let's go indeed. Doors are closed. Now we've got a line speed limit of 90, so let's just get our foot down now and get out of here. Let's get rid of that. Right, this is the horn from the outside. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit weird. I don't know if that's the horn they actually picked or it's just a bad sample of it, but it just doesn't fit the train somehow. Right, automatic is engaged. That will keep us under 90. And then the speed limit is going to pick up to 250 in a second. How far is it to the next stop? It's 30 kilometers to the next platform. So it's quite a run, so that we should be able to pick up some serious speed now. Okay, so if disengage and re-engage. Like that. Off it goes. It's going to take us all the way up to 250 now. And we know that there's no track speed change coming up. We can see it from the display. It's more than 10k before the next track speed. So we don't need to sort of sit there. That's why I've turned this off. We don't need to sit there and monitor this, because we know that there isn't one. Because if there was one, the computer would know about it. Which is absolutely beautiful, because it means you can enjoy the scenery in relative safety. Now that is a straight piece of track. Blimey. I wonder what it's like in real life. Like, is it just cut through a forest like this? Or is it, you know, there's little pocket villages or open fields or something? I have no idea whereabouts we are in China. I mean, I know it lists these places of, what was it? Chengdu and Longsheng. But you know, without looking on Google Maps, I genuinely have no clue where they are in China. I do not know China. Really don't know China at all. Okay, we can sort of see some stuff going on now as we carve our way through the scenery. But look at this railway system. It's just elevated. I mean, the amount of construction that's gone into this. Just hundreds of kilometers of track. Obviously got to be really flat, really solid, and just boom, elevated, carved through the whole country in a bolt straight line. There just aren't that many tracks in Great Britain that are like this, that are this straight. They always meander around and go round things, you know? Whereas here, it's like somebody got a ruler and just went, phew. There you go. That's shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. It's two-tile mate, Chengdu. I don't know what his name is. I just made that up. That's probably like short for Bob Smith or something. I wonder what the most common name is in China. You know, I think in the UK it's... what is it? The surname Smith or Jones. Those surnames are like massively popular. I wonder what that equivalent is in China. I wonder if it's like Li after Jet Li. Wow. So we're now doing 245 and already, if we look at that, what was we on? 39k and we're now 20k. It's shocking how quickly you close distance at this speed. Absolutely shocking. You can imagine living in China and you want to commute this distance and you just think, I'm not going to drive that. Why would I want to drive that? It's going to take me hours. I'll just get on the train. I'll be there in no time, man. I can have breakfast. Makes sense. Love to know what all this stuff does. CRH1-022A, that's the model number. There are a few versions of this train. I think the early ones went slower, but the later ones got elevated to 250k in speed terms. The CRH3, does 380, but it was tested to 480. They tested it at 480. I remember seeing a program about the 3 and the glass on it. Like, they couldn't use the glass from the 2. The 2 was made out of some space-age glass, which had to be tested, because when a loco's going like 250 kilometers an hour and a stone hits it, or a bird or something, it's you know, got to be very, very strong. And the 3, when the 3 was tested at over 400 kilometers per hour, the smallest thing hits it and it would shatter it. They had to make some new space-age material just to cope with it. The problems of speed. Okay, how far are we now? We are 12 away, people. That has gone so quickly. That is scary. Especially if you've like played this game and you've been on steam trains. Look at this. If he's doing the speed we are, then we've got a closing speed of 500k. I think we're in a mountain or something. This is massive. We're going to have to start thinking about braking shortly. Yep, 45 limit coming up. Okay. 230 recommended speed now. At this point, the computer system's kind of calculating a deceleration curve for us, if you like. Which is quite nice of it. This is a tunnel, my life. I thought that was daylight, but it's not. It's just, this thing's endless. Okay, 200 now. Whoa. Now that was some nice scenery, eh? Okay, let's keep the speed coming down a bit. 5k away. This isn't the last one either, is it? This is Huai Cow, I think we say this. I don't know about your Chinese, but mine isn't very good. Right, 4.5 kilometers. I think we're okay for speed. Interesting to see what that jumps down to next. My guess would be like 160. What it does is it kind of calculates a deceleration curve for you. And then kind of gives you acknowledgements of speed like 200, there you go, 160. But we're already doing 150, so we should be okay. Our ETA is now 9:46, we're only due at 9:47, so we're good for time. And out we come. Ah. Lovely daylight. Don't think much of that hedge. Look at that, it's like wire mesh to stop it caving in or something. Do you see the contrast out here, and then when you get back in here, look how kind of washed out it is. Okay, let's get some more braking on. I have got track IR turned on, by the way, that's why I'm able to sort of look around like this without using the mouse. 90? It's quite nice, that suggestive speed stuff. Okay, we're almost down to 90. $1.5K. I think you can pretty much see the yellow lights ahead of the 45 limit. I think it's that there. But we should be good. Perfect. Get that, bang on. Just get it under 45, then we can cruise control it like that. Superb. Right on the money. Now we can judge some scenery a bit. You can see the platform we're coming into. Okay, just engaged the brakes slightly and turned off the cruise control. So what I'm trying to do is, as I get to the start here, I just put it on 2 on the braking. And that seems to, so just as we pass that line there, if we just knock the brake on to there. On 2, you see that? Then if you look at the back of the train, I've calculated that roughly it should line up. See that? Neat, huh? There we go. And nobody spilt the coffee. Doors open. Ah, there are actually people at this station. Okay, let's bring up that display so we can see what's going on. We got here at 9:47. We got here just about on time, actually. Due to leave at 9:48. And the final destination will be Longsheng. Only 13k away, so that was by far the biggest run. That was a 40-kilometer stretch, roughly, wasn't it? But took absolutely no time at all. What I don't get is why all the characters are not Chinese. They're all just the normal stock default ones. Makes me think that you can't replace them. Like, no scenario can replace the standard characters. Which, hang on. Next stop is Longsheng, okay. I've definitely seen scenarios where the clothing is replaced. Like the, is it the Falmouth branch line one, the Somerset one? They're all going around in 40s and 50s clothes. So they must be able to do something. Although I think that was an official DLC, thinking about it. I'm going to engage the automatic cruise control. It can take us up to 90. But yeah, I mean, in theory, you want to see sort of Chinese people, don't you? Because if you look at the front of this, look at this guy is very distinctly, I would say, like a Euro-Japanese hybrid. Doesn't really look Chinese to me. Looks more Japanese. You can hear the automatic brakes kicking in then. Okay, same thing. Speed limit's about to come up. And acceleration just takes us there. So you don't need to release that and bring it back again. It will just automatically bring you up to the right speed. Which is cool. Let's have a look outside. What is that sign? Oh, it's a light bulb. I wonder if that was like a Chinese poster for energy saving. You know, switch it off. Get LED bulbs. Because it was an incandescent bulb as well. Like, do they really use those now? Most of the bulbs in my house now are LED. Like, because I've got kids. And I don't know if you've got kids or not, or you've had kids, or, you know, might be a kid. But kids never turn off lights. They just don't, you know. They walk around the house, flick every light switch in the house on. And then never ever press it the other way. Unless it's their bed at night. That's the only time they'll turn a light off. So, essentially, as a parent, you've got one of two choices. Either get energy efficient bulbs, or spend the rest of your life walking around turning lights off. Or, of course, pay the massive bill. Massive electric bill of leaving all of the lights on. So many, you know, a few years ago, I got rid of the incandescent bulbs. And instead replaced them with the... what do they call them? CFDs? Compact fluorescent somethings? I can't remember. I think they were called CFDs. And, but recently LEDs have been the thing. So I've spent money on LEDs. They'll probably pay for themselves in about 18 months. All the lights will pay for themselves in my house. In about 18 months. And now I don't feel so bad when they leave the lights off. I still have a little bit of a moan to them. Try to train them, you know, but... It's a lost cause, mostly. I'm going to leave the auto cruise control on, you know. I've got a feeling this thing's going to decelerate down, look. Yeah, it is. It's bringing the speed down automatically, look. So this is the other way to drive this, is like full auto. Look, it's just so cool, this thing's driving itself. You could put it on auto and just enjoy the scenery. And it is quite nice scenery. There are, the scenarios, there are... That's nice, isn't it? There are, rainy ones, foggy ones, there's a snow one that I saw. This particular one is quite a nice, bright, sunny day. I'm just going to see how well this thing can cope. 160, is it going to bring it down? It is as well. Effectively, you've got this computer system that... there's actually a scenario, by the way. The one on the snow. The whole cruise control system's broken, so you have to manage your train manually. Yeah, you've got this system. This one's plotting the kind of... It reminds me of a flight control system, actually. One's plotting the descent of velocity and working out what this needs to be, and then the other one's just operating the train based on this. Look at it. It's quite cool the way it works. I wonder if it would go all the way down to 45. Makes you wonder why they need a train driver in this thing. You could just press the auto button and be done with it. But no, I just showed you the manual method, which is a bit more involved. But you can equally just press the automatic button and enjoy it that way. Depends what you like doing in the game. Whether you like going manual or auto, whether you want to see the scenery. Some people sit in the cab like all the time, just want to play it from first person. Get the full experience. That's fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But other people are quite like it looking at the scenery. Come on, auto system. You need to get it down to... there you go. Blimey, it did as well. Look at that. Look at that, on the money. Well, it's a bit slow for me. I'm quite happy to go in over 40, because it will always be like about 5 kilometers per hour less. There you go. Well, I can lock it in at 43. I'm happy with that. So I think this is final destination, Longsheng platform. ETA 9:54. We are pretty much on time here. Okay. I'm going to turn off the cruise control. Same deal as a pass here at like just over 40. Like that. I'm going to put the brakes on. And that, look at the platform, it's so desolate. It's so empty. Just one thing I'd wish for in this game, it's crowds of people walking onto your train, walking off your train. You sit in the back here and, you know, instead of it looking so barren, it would have people on it. It actually shows you the train speed up there. It's quite cool. There you go. You see the back is nicely on. Let's put the brakes on. And door. Yeah, you can see that come off a little bit. My guess is it comes out all the way. Surely it comes out more than that. Either that or this is wrong. But, yeah, notice the scenery as well. This is the guy just walking straight over. These staircases here are completely cosmetic. So that guy just walked right through that. Again, it's just another of those, you know, I'm probably having a moan now, but maybe the next version of Train Sim will fix this kind of thing. Well done, you successfully finished the job. Let's have a look how we did. Targets complete, 4 out of 4. Picked up passengers, 4 out of 4. Moved the train once while loading, unloading. Not really sure where that happened. Speeding 5 times. Again, not really sure where that happened either. Distance traveled 70 kilometers in 41 minutes. Think about the average of that. That's moving some, that is. So that was that one. So that was in the CRH1A. That's the first CRH train I'm going to show you. Next Train Sim video, I shall be showing you the next one down here, CRH2A. We're going to go for one of these scenarios here. Not sure yet. Probably not that one. It's a bit long. Maybe that one. That's it for this video, guys. Take care and happy training.